Нет, не закрыли окна. Иди сюда. Юра, ты с этой пойдешь? Юрчик. Да. Там закрыто. Я только два открою.
Hello the English speakers, and welcome to a nice little stream with all the birches and some aspen and goat willows, I think. We'll clean some stuff up because it's Saturday today, but let's start by taking a big deep breath and hope for that my camera doesn't turn itself off because it's raining a little bit. The European Union Commission, they are threatening X with a huge fine of 120 million euros, and the reason is that X doesn't have enough transparency, and X doesn't allow for researchers to look at the data that is public on X and to analyze it and see different things. For example, Substack can't get the posts from X, etc. So shitty behavior of X, you can argue that it's their right to keep their data even though they publish it for the internet. But of course we all know the real reason is that EU will censor. But Elon Musk says no money can be given to me to help me censor people. So that's why you know that Elon Musk is censoring me, and then he take my money instead of doing the opposite, taking money and then censor me. So he censor me and then he steals my money. There is no way he can defend this in public, especially since I'm removed because of unspecified postings, doing unspecified things against unspecified laws. So X want to censor for the Zionists instead of the European Union. And Elon Musk is pretending to be unaware, or maybe he really is unaware, which I really hope is the case. Eva Vlad, or Vladingerbrook. She is, of course, one of these make Europe great again. So she is, of course, also America first, and she wants to end the United States. Yeah, she wants to demolish the United States and make the money stay into the states so that they can become easily plundered. Some states will probably join Canada, some will join Mexico, most of the others will belong to the city of London and get plundered. So that's what this great friend of USA wants. Or did she just say that about European Union? Of course she did. She wants to end European Union, and what is the thinking behind that? Of course, first you need to know that the shit that United States, the Federation, is doing to their peoples, it's way worse than European Union does when it comes to taxation. So in USA you have way more taxes than we have to the European Union. We have more local taxes to our local governments and our states in European Union. But then also We do have a lot of regulations, and they come mostly from European Union, but they have to come from there, otherwise it will be very inefficient. The problem is that they don't remove stuff, so there needs to be some fixing, and European Union needs to be fixed or replaced. But you can't just end the European Union, because then Russia, China, USA and international gangsters will divide it up and devour us. So if you think that European Union is bad, if you think that Soviet was bad, well, what was it replaced with? Maybe you should think before you wish for Christmas presents, even if you're Eva Vlardinger-Brock. You say businesses are doing great under Trump, aren't they? Yeah, they are breaking a new record now. So in 2020, only 1,200 companies went broke, and this is dad and mom businesses, small businesses. But now they have increased their bankruptcies to 2,221 this year. So it's not finished yet. But the economy is doing great. The richest 1%, they increased their wealth with 7%, and 0.1%, they increased their wealth with 10%. So the money is getting centralized and you are getting screwed. So that's how the US economy works at the moment. I got a good comment here about the Venezuelan oil that people think that it's about. It's not. The US companies, the US oil companies, they are losing money because they are not allowed to get profits from Venezuela. So how do you make sense of that? This has to do with control, and it's the bankers with their blackmail, and they are not interested in oil, money or anything. They want to enslave everyone, and they are using Cuba and Venezuela as example, and they use Gaza as an example. This is what happens if you are not totally obedient goyim and slave, and then they will destroy you because they worship Satan. And that might be an overstatement, but if you use that worldview, you will predict everything. So yeah, they want total control over the oil. They don't want to have a win-win situation. That's not how they think. And they think long-term in general, the worst of the worst. Miriam Adelson, she's not only busy dethroning Thomas Massie, for example, but she's also attacking someone who is called James Fishback. And James Fishback, he's trying to replace the governor DeSantis in Florida. It's really scary to walk here. It's very icy. You can pray to the bell tower that is really needed, it seems. So Marianne Adelson, she is fighting him because he doesn't want Florida to serve Israel. But otherwise, he's a Republican. And he's also very antiseptic. How can you tell? He is using the very blood libel word. It's called affordability. So if you say that, you're basically Soral Mamdani. So that's interesting that have become a lot more popular, even among America First Republicans. But we will see what happens with Fishback, if he can beat DeSantis, or if DeSantis even will run. I haven't checked that actually. Eurovision. They refused to ban Israel. There might be a reason for that. They want their hairstylist. So that's Moroccan Oil, which is not a Moroccan company but an Israeli company, and they provide their oils and body care things for the the Eurovision, and they are the biggest donor to this, except the broadcasting companies. So then it will be a little bit awkward to not invite their home country, Israel. So remember, the Jews will always demand that you help protect other Jews, and they will be making a scene out of it. So maybe don't get anything from them and avoid them to avoid all the trouble. Gen X girl is summarizing all the things that they do against USA, and they, I mean the Zionists in this case. So they give them free trips and indoctrination and basically brainwashing by sending them to Israel, and hopefully they can get some blackmail or whatever on them there too. And they send journalists, of course, mayors and politicians from state or the global or federal level, and influencers, as you know, and they have now just welcomed 1,000 or over 1,000 priests and other religious leaders that will basically spread the gospel of Satan to the people that are uninformed enough to actually listen to someone who has been invited by the Zionist regime to Israel. So this is the all-front war that is done by the Zionists against everyone. So we should isolate them, but maybe we should isolate them unpredictably. If you are very predictable, then of course you will not win, generally speaking. And that's what the propaganda is for. The bad propaganda that is for against us, that is not designed to convince you, but they keep on spreading climate bullshit, etc., until you just give up and use their words. I have been warning about anti-Semitism. Never use that word at all. And I made another mistake. Never use. It's a bad expression. I don't know any better. But use anti-Semitism and make fun of them and tell them to not be anti-Baltic, which is something you are when you are racist against Swedes, because that makes sense. Israel, or an Israeli company, they are taking care of the computer security of 70 agencies, and some of them very vital for USA. So if you sell your computer security to an enemy state like Israel, that is no good. And how do you do to buy it back? I have no idea why it's written 1925 there. The church is way older than that. It must be something else. Where were I? Ian Carroll is writing stuff, so I don't have to, but he's saying what I said yesterday about Nick Fontes. Nick Fontes is having, like very many others, some sort of Candace Owens derangement syndrome, and you don't have to agree with all the theories that Candace Owens has, but if you're just misrepresenting her and doing those straw man arguments where you make up that she's having a theory that she's pushing instead of suggesting that it might be true, well, that's straw manning, and Nick Fontes does that. And what happened with this bullet, if it really came from that direction with that rifle, no one has been able to provide any kind of solution why it ended up with the effect that we saw, and why are they hiding footage, why this Zin, the patsy that were screaming that he had shot Charlie Kirk when he hadn't, and then you have the security team, and then you have the cover up of the ground, and you have cover up of the crime scene and cover up in general, I would say, and all the footage and all the criminal behavior from TP USA when it comes to handling their money and handling Candace Owens and generally being weird and being guilty. And then also Charlie Kirk himself said, yeah, he's going to get murdered by Israel. So maybe you should listen to him, even though, or especially because he is dead. And finally, I saw a cute image that you should copy if you dare. And it's listing how these Nuremberg trials were done by using torture. And the sign is saying that people should take a flyer, or you can take some death with that. Rest in peace and have a nice Sunday.